My golden sister cut my 9-year-old daughter's hair while she begged her to stop. My parents said, "Stop crying, you little witch. It's just hair." So I went nuclear and made them pay for it. Sup Reddit. I, 36 male. And this happened back in July 2023. I still think about it every time I look at my daughter. My friend Miguel died on a Tuesday. Wrapped his Accord around a telephone pole on the I-10 at 2 a.m. They said he fell asleep at the wheel. Left behind a wife, 2 kids under 5, and me without my best friend since college. The funeral was set for Saturday in Tucson, 2 hours south. Hazel is a family lawyer. She knows things. That Thursday night, while I was packing my suit, she leaned against the bathroom doorframe with her arms crossed. "Are you absolutely sure about leaving Lily with your parents?" I glanced at her in the mirror while adjusting my tie. "It's one day. They're her grandparents. Is Brooke going to be there?" There it was. My sister. Age 32, still living in our parents' basement, collecting unemployment after getting fired from her 3rd retail job in 2 years. The family golden child who could do no wrong in Dad's eyes. "Probably," I said. "But I'll tell Mom to keep them separate." Hazel didn't move from the doorway. I don't trust her around Lily. Something about the way she acts around our daughter makes me nervous. That was nothing. Last month at the barbecue, I had to physically step between them. Your sister looked at me like she wanted to shove me into the grill. I zipped my garment bag. "You're being paranoid." She was quiet for a long moment. When I turned around, she had that look. The one she gets in court when she knows she's right, but the judge is about to rule against her anyway. "Fine," she said. "But I'm telling you now. If Brooke does something to Lily, I'm not going to handle it diplomatically." I should have listened. Hazel has instincts about people that I don't. It's why she's good at her job. But I was dealing with losing Miguel, and I just wanted one thing to be simple. Saturday morning, we dropped Lily off at my parents' house around 9 a.m. It's a ranch-style place in a subdivision that was new in the 80s and is now showing its age. Dad built half of it himself back when he ran his construction company. He's proud of that fact and mentions it approximately every time anyone visits. Mom answered the door in her usual style. Floral house dress, hair in curlers, even though she wasn't going anywhere. "Oh, you two look so nice. I'm so sorry about Miguel, honey." Brooke was on the couch, scrolling through her phone. She looked up when we walked in. Her eyes went straight to Lily, and something flickered across her face that I couldn't quite read. "Hey, Squirt," Brooke said. "Maybe today we can hang out and do something fun together, huh?" Lily moved closer to my leg. I told myself it was nothing. Just ant stuff. "Mom, just make sure someone's watching her at all times, okay? We'll be back by 6. "Of course, sweetie. Don't you worry about a thing." Before we left, Lily hugged me tight. Tighter than usual. "Dad, I have a weird feeling." I kissed the top of her head, breathed in that kid shampoo smell. "You'll be fine, baby. Grandma's going to make you lunch. You can watch cartoons. We'll be home before you know it." If I could go back to that moment, I'd pick her up, walk out the door, and never look back. The funeral was brutal. Open casket. Miguel looked wrong. Too waxy, too still. His kids didn't understand why Daddy was sleeping in the fancy box. His wife couldn't stand during the service. I gave the eulogy and barely made it through. On the drive back, I kept thinking about mortality, about how fast everything can change. Hazel held my hand across the center console and didn't say anything, which was exactly what I needed. We got back to my parents' house at 5:45 p.m. Early, actually. The sun was still high, making everything in the neighborhood look washed out and too bright. I used my key to open the front door. Immediately, I heard crying. Not tantrum crying, not hurt crying. Something worse. The living room looked normal. TV on, some cartoon about talking animals, pillow and blanket on the couch. But Lily was curled up in the corner of the sectional, face buried in a throw pillow, her whole body shaking. Then I saw her hair. It was gone. Not gone, but destroyed. Chopped unevenly at her shoulders, some parts shorter than others, chunks missing near her neck. It looked like someone had attacked it with dull scissors while blindfolded. Hazel came in behind me. I heard her sharp intake of breath, then a sound I'd never heard her make before. Something between a gasp and a growl. "Who did this?" Her voice was pure ice. Lily looked up. Her face was swollen, red, soaked with tears. Snot running down to her lip. Her eyes were unfocused. That 1,000-yard stare you see on people who've been through something traumatic. "Aunt Brooke," she whispered. The room tilted. Or maybe I tilted. Hard to tell. Hazel moved first, crossing to Lily in 3 strides and wrapping her in her arms. Our daughter collapsed into her, sobbing so hard no sound came out. Just these horrible hitching gasps. I stood there like an idiot, trying to process what I was seeing. This was my baby girl. This was the kid whose hair I'd watched grow every single day since she was 4 years old, who brushed it 100 strokes every night, who wanted to be Rapunzel for 3 Halloweens in a row. Where is she? I asked. My voice didn't sound like mine. Lily pointed toward the hallway where the bedrooms were. Stay here, I told Hazel. Then I walked down that hallway like a man walking to his own execution. Brooke's door was closed. I didn't knock, just grabbed the handle and shoved it open. She was sitting on her bed, scrolling through Instagram like nothing had happened. When she saw me, she actually smiled. Oh, good, you're back. How was the funeral? What the heck did you do? She blinked. What do you mean? Lily's hair, Brooke. What the heck did you do to my daughter's hair? She rolled her eyes. Oh my God. Relax. It was just a haircut. It looks way better now. You should thank me, honestly. It was getting so ratty and gross. I stepped into her room. She must have seen something in my face because she leaned back against her headboard. Lily said you held her down. She said she was crying and begging you to stop. She was being dramatic. Kids that age don't know what they want. I was helping her. Get out here, now! I turned and walked back to the living room. Behind me, I heard Brooke sigh loudly, like I was the one being unreasonable. In the living room, Hazel was sitting on the couch with Lily in her lap, rocking her like she was a toddler again. She'd stopped sobbing but was still making these small, broken sounds. Tell us what happened, baby, Hazel said softly. Tell us everything. Lily's voice was hoarse from crying. She spoke in fragments, having to stop and restart several times. It started around 2 p.m. Mom had gone to the store to get stuff for dinner. Said she'd only be gone 30 minutes. Left Brooke in charge. Aunt Brooke sat next to me and said she learned a new hairstyle. She said it would make me so pretty. I told her I didn't want to cut my hair. I told her no. What did she say? She said she wasn't going to cut it. Just style it. Just make it pretty. So I said, okay. My hands were clenched so tight my nails were cutting into my palms. She took me to the bathroom, made me sit in a chair facing away from the mirror. I asked why I couldn't see, and she said it was a surprise. Then I heard scissors. Lily started crying again. Hazel held her tighter. I tried to turn around, but she pushed my head forward. She said, sit still, I'm just trimming a little bit. But she kept cutting. I could feel it. I could feel my hair falling on my shoulders and down my back. I started crying and I tried to stand up, but she grabbed my shoulders and held me down. Jesus. She kept cutting. I was begging her to stop. I was saying, please, please stop, I don't want this. But she wouldn't stop. She just kept cutting and cutting and telling me to sit still. How long did this go on? I don't know. It felt like forever. When she finally let me go, I ran to the hallway mirror and saw what she did. Then Grandma came home. What did Grandma say? She asked Aunt Brooke what she did. Aunt Brooke said, I just cut her hair, it was too long and messy. Then Grandma told me to sit in the living room and she went somewhere else. I don't know where. I just sat here and cried. I looked at my daughter's ruined hair and felt something dark and cold settle in my chest. That protective rage that dads aren't supposed to talk about but all of us feel. That caveman part of your brain that says someone hurt my child and they need to pay. Brooke walked into the living room, Mom trailing behind her. Dad wasn't home yet. Okay, I'm here, Brooke said. Can we stop being so dramatic now? Hazel stood up slowly, carefully moving Lily off her lap. She pulled out her phone and opened the voice recorder app. Record this, she said to me. I understood immediately. Took out my own phone, hit record. Brooke, Hazel said calmly. Did Lily tell you she didn't want her hair cut? Oh my God, are we really doing this? Answer the question. Did she say no? Brooke rolled her eyes. Yes, but did she cry and ask you to stop while you were cutting it? She was being dramatic. Kids don't know what they want. Her hair was a mess and I was doing her a favor. So yes, she cried and asked you to stop, and you continued anyway? I was helping her. You're acting like I committed some crime. Hazel stopped the recording. I stopped mine. We had what we needed. You held my daughter down, Hazel said quietly, while she cried and begged you to stop. You cut her hair against her will. Oh my God, you're acting like I killed someone. It's just hair. It grows back. Honestly, she looks better now. You should be thanking me. Thanking you. Yeah, that hair was way too long. It was probably full of knots and split ends. I did you a favor. Thanking you. Mom stepped forward, hands twisting together. Now girls, let's all just calm down. This is getting out of hand. Please, talk to your wife. This is a family matter. We don't need to make it into World War III. I looked at my mother. This woman who'd promised to take care of my daughter. Who'd failed completely. Where were you, Mom? I was just at the store, honey. I was only gone 30 minutes. 30 minutes was all it took for your daughter to assault my child. Assault? Brooke laughed. Are you kidding me right now? The front door opened. Dad walked in carrying a bag from Home Depot, probably some fixture he was going to spend all weekend installing. He took one look at all of us standing there and set his bag down. What's going on? Dad is one of those guys who thinks volume equals authority. 6'2", still has the build from his construction days even though he's been retired for 5 years. Gray crew cut, permanent sunburn on his neck. The kind of man who has opinions about everything and considers listening to be a sign of weakness. Brooke cut Lily's hair and now they're all upset, Mom said quickly. Dad looked at Lily's hair, then at Brooke, then at us. It's just a haircut. What's the big deal? The big deal, Hazel said, her voice still in that scary calm register, is that your daughter physically restrained our child while our child was crying and begging her to stop. That's assault. Assault. Dad barked out a laugh. You've got to be kidding me. This is family business. Brooke was helping the girl. Look at her. She looks fine. She looks fine? I stepped forward. Dad, look at your granddaughter. Lily's eyes were swollen nearly shut. Her face was blotchy and red. Her lip was trembling. And her hair, the hair she'd loved more than anything, was destroyed. She's fine, Dad said dismissively. Kids cry. She'll get over it. Now I think everyone needs to calm down and stop making my daughter feel bad for trying to help. Help? Hazel's voice was rising now. She held Lily down. Lily said no. Multiple times. She said no, and Brooke did it anyway. Do you understand what that teaches a child? It teaches her that adults know better, Brooke said smugly. Kids don't know what's good for them. That's why they have parents and aunts who care about them. You don't care about her. You wanted to hurt her because you're jealous. Jealous? Brooke's voice went shrill. Of what? Her hair? Are you insane? You've been making comments about it for years. You've been trying to convince her to cut it. You couldn't stand that a 9-year-old had something beautiful that you wanted to destroy. Oh, screw you. You've always thought you were better than me. Coming in here with your fancy lawyer job and your perfect little family. You know what? Yeah, I cut her hair. And I'd do it again. She looks better. You're welcome. The room went silent. Something in me switched off. Or maybe it switched on. Hard to tell the difference. I'd spent my whole life being the peacekeeper. The good son who swallowed his opinions to keep family dinners civil. The one who made excuses for Brooke's behavior, because that's what families do. Not anymore. I walked to the kitchen. Mom's big fabric shears were on the counter, where she'd left them after wrapping Christmas presents. I picked them up. Matt? Hazel's voice behind me. Not stopping me, just checking. Take Lily outside to the car, I said. Lock the doors. She understood. Took Lily by the hand and walked her out the front door. I heard the car doors close. Heard the locks engage. I walked back into the living room with the scissors. Brooke saw them and took a step back. What are you doing? I didn't answer. Just walked toward her. Dad! Her voice went up an octave. Dad, do something! Dad moved to intercept me. I looked at him. Really looked at him. Let him see whatever was on my face. He stopped. Think about what you're doing, he said. But his voice was uncertain now. I have. I walked past him. Brooke backed up against the wall. Come on, I'm your sister. We can talk about this. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. Please don't. I grabbed a handful of her hair. One thick section near her left temple. She tried to jerk away, but I held tight. You wanted to know what it felt like to make someone beautiful? I said. Let me show you. One cut. Quick and brutal. The scissors were sharp. Went through clean. I dropped the hair on the floor and stepped back. Brooke touched the side of her head where a chunk was missing. Her hand came away shaking. Then she looked at the hair on the floor and started screaming. I set the scissors on the coffee table. Didn't throw them. Didn't brandish them. Just set them down and pulled out my phone. What are you doing? Dad demanded. I dialed 911. What the heck do you think you're doing? The operator answered. 911. What's your emergency? I need to report an assault on a minor, I said. My voice was steady, calmer than I felt. My 9-year-old daughter was physically restrained by my sister and had her hair forcibly cut while she cried and begged her to stop. Brooke was still screaming. Dad lunged for my phone, but I stepped out of reach. I also need to report that I retaliated, I continued. I cut my sister's hair. One time. I'm not hiding it. I want to be transparent. Sir, what's your location? I gave the address. The operator said units were on the way. Estimated 10 minutes. You jerk! Brooke shrieked. You're going to ruin my life over a haircut? Yeah, I said. Funny how that works, huh? Mom was crying now. Dad was pacing, running his hands through his hair. He stopped in front of me. You're really doing this? You're really calling the cops on your own sister? She did it to herself when she assaulted Lily. It wasn't assault. Tell it to the cops. Please. Mom's voice was broken. Please don't do this. She's family. You can't. She touched my daughter after my daughter said no. She held her down while Lily screamed. That stops being family business right there. You cut her hair too. You're just as bad. I know. That's why I'm reporting myself too. But there's a difference. Lily is 9. Brooke is 32. And I did it once to prove a point. Brooke did it for several minutes while Lily begged her to stop. Dad tried a different approach. His voice went quiet, almost pleading. Son, think about what you're doing to this family. To your mother. We can work this out. We don't need the police involved. We needed the police the second Brooke decided to assault a child. Everything after that is just consequences. She's going to get arrested. She's got that shoplifting thing on her record already. She'll lose her unemployment. Good. Come on. No. You know what, Dad? I'm done. I'm done making excuses for her. I'm done pretending this family is something it's not. Brooke is 32 years old, and she just assaulted a 9-year-old because she was jealous of a little girl's hair. That's not normal. That's not okay. And you defending it tells me everything I need to know about your priorities. 2 patrol cars pulled up exactly 9 minutes later. 4 officers. 2 male, 2 female. Dad tried one last time. When the officers knocked, he stepped in front of the door. Don't answer it. We can still fix this. I walked around him and opened the door. The lead officer was mid-40s, looked like he'd seen some things. His partner was a younger woman. The other 2 officers were a male and female pair. They separated us immediately. Different rooms, different officers. I told the lead officer everything. Showed him the recording of Brooke admitting Lily said no and that she kept going. Showed him pictures of Lily's hair from this morning. Told him about the months of comments. The incident at the barbecue. And then you cut your sister's hair. Yes. Once. I grabbed a handful and cut it with scissors from the kitchen. Then I put the scissors down and called you. Did you restrain her? I grabbed her hair to cut it. I didn't hold her down or pin her. The whole thing took maybe 5 seconds. Then I stepped back and made the call. He wrote it all down. You understand that's assault? Yes. Class 3 misdemeanor in Arizona. Knowingly touching someone with intent to insult or provoke. I understand. Why'd you do it? I looked at him. Because someone needed to show her what it felt like. And because I wanted her to understand there are consequences for hurting my daughter. He nodded slowly. Didn't say if he approved or disapproved. Just made more notes. The female officer brought Hazel in. She gave her statement clearly. Described finding Lily. Played the recording. Explained what Lily had told us. Then the officer went outside to talk to Lily in the car. That took about 20 minutes. When she came back, her jaw was tight. They brought Brooke in next. She went full victim mode. Crying. Saying she'd just been trying to help. Saying I attacked her viciously. Saying her hair was destroyed and she wanted me arrested. Ma'am, did the child consent to having her hair cut? She's 9. Kids don't know what they want. Did she say no? Well, yes, but did she cry and ask you to stop? Brooke hesitated. She was being dramatic. Ma'am, I need a yes or no. Did the child cry and ask you to stop cutting her hair? Yes, but I was helping her. And you continued cutting after she asked you to stop? I was doing her a favor. This is insane. You should be arresting him. He attacked me. We'll get to that. Did you physically hold the child in place while cutting her hair? I put my hands on her shoulders so she'd sit still. So you physically restrained her? I was just trying to help. The lead officer came back over to me while Brooke was still being questioned. We're going to need you to come down to the station. You'll be cited for misdemeanor assault. I understand. You're not under arrest right now, but you'll get a court date. You'll need to appear. Okay. He looked at me for a long moment. For what it's worth, I got a daughter too. I get it. Am I going to jail? Not today, but you'll probably be looking at a fine, maybe some community service, anger management. The DA will decide. Dad was talking to another officer in the kitchen. I could hear his voice rising, saying something about his rights and his house and family business. The officer came out looking annoyed. Sir, did you attempt to prevent your son from making a 911 call earlier? I was trying to keep my family together. Sir, did you physically try to stop him from calling? This is my house. I have a right to... Sir, that's preventing the use of a telephone in an emergency. That's a Class 2 misdemeanor in Arizona. Dad's face went white. You can't be serious. Turn around and place your hands behind your back. What? No, I didn't do anything wrong. Sir, you attempted to prevent someone from calling emergency services during an active assault on a minor. Turn around. This is ridiculous! Another officer stepped in. Together, they cuffed Dad. He wasn't yelling anymore, just standing there rigid, staring at the wall. Brooke was cuffed next. She started crying when she saw the handcuffs. Please, please don't. I'll lose my unemployment. I have a record already. Please. The female officer read her the charges. Ma'am, you're being arrested for assault on a minor and unlawful imprisonment. Unlawful imprisonment? What the heck? I just cut her hair. You physically restrained a minor who couldn't leave. That's unlawful imprisonment under Arizona Statute 13-1303. One of the male officers glanced at the chunk missing from Brooke's hair and let out a short laugh. She turned red. They walked her to the car. She was sobbing now, mascara running down her face. Mom was on the floor, literally on her knees. Please don't take them, please. She's family. He's your father. You can't do this to family. They did it to themselves. Child Protective Services showed up 20 minutes later. A caseworker interviewed Lily privately, talked to each of us, took about 100 photos of Lily's hair from every angle. When she came back, she said, "We're opening a case file. Not removing Lily from your custody, but we'll be following up. Standard procedure for assault on a minor cases." What about Brooke? Mom asked weakly. She'll be processed and booked. She'll see a judge tomorrow for arraignment. And him? He cut her hair too. The caseworker looked at her notes. He reported his own actions and didn't attempt to flee or destroy evidence. He'll likely face misdemeanor charges, but that's up to the DA. A detective showed up around 8 p.m. unmarked car. He talked to everyone again, took more statements, photographed the bathroom where it happened, collected the hair from the floor. He pulled me aside before he left. DA's going to review your case. Could go either way. Get a lawyer. Don't talk to anyone about this without your lawyer present. Understood. Off the record? You took a calculated risk. One cut instead of dragging it out. Reported yourself immediately. Put the scissors down. That all works in your favor. But you still committed assault? And the DA might decide to make an example. I understand. He nodded and left. We were finally allowed to leave around 9 p.m. Lily had fallen asleep in the car, exhausted from crying. We carried her inside our house, put her to bed, still dressed. Hazel and I sat on the couch in the dark. Are you okay? She asked. No. Me neither. I'm probably going to get charged. I know. Was it worth it? She thought about that. Ask me in a year. 30 minutes later, we heard a car pull up outside. A taxi. Then a knock on the door. I opened it to find Grandma standing there with her cane and a small overnight bag. Someone better tell me what the heck happened, she said. And don't lie to me. Grandma was 82 years old and had buried 2 husbands, raised 4 kids, worked as a nurse for 40 years, and taken exactly zero nonsense from anyone since approximately 1960. We told her everything. Didn't sugarcoat it, didn't make excuses, just laid out exactly what happened. She listened without interrupting. When we were done, she sat back in our armchair and took a deep breath. Your father called me from the police station, told me you'd lost your mind, said you'd ruined the family. What did you say? I told him he ruined the family when he raised a daughter who thinks it's okay to assault children. She looked at us steadily. Then I hung up and got a taxi here. You're not staying with them? I'm not staying anywhere near that circus. Your mother's been calling me nonstop, crying about how I need to fix this, how I need to talk sense into you. What did you tell her? I told her that the only person who needs sense talked into them is Brooke, and it's about 30 years too late for that. Hazel brought her some water. Grandma patted her hand. You raised heck tonight, I hear. I wanted to do what he did. He got there first. Good. Both of you showed that girl there are consequences. Should have happened decades ago, but better late than never. We sat there for a while in the dark, not talking. Finally, Grandma spoke again. They're going to try to paint you as the bad guy. Your father will tell everyone you attacked Brooke unprovoked. Your mother will cry and play the victim. Brooke will say she was just trying to help. I know. You got evidence? Recording of her admitting Lily said no and she kept going. Photos. Lily's statement. Neighbors probably saw the patrol cars. Good. Use it all. This goes to court. You make sure that jury sees exactly what Brooke is. I'll testify if you need me. I'll tell them what she's been like her whole life. The stealing, the lying, the jealousy. All of it. You do that? I love your father, but I'm not blind to what he is. And I'm not going to let him or Brooke destroy your family because they can't accept responsibility. She stayed with us for 3 days. Cooked breakfast, helped Lily pick out new hair bows, told stories about being a nurse in the 70s. On the 3rd day, she packed her bag. Where are you going? Lily asked. Getting my own place, sweetheart. Little apartment. Already put a deposit down. You're not going back to Grandpa and Grandma's house? No, baby. Sometimes people show you who they are and you have to believe them. The DA reviewed my case for 3 weeks. I hired a lawyer. Former prosecutor, knew the system, didn't give me false hope about my chances. Best case scenario, they don't charge you at all. Worst case, you're looking at conviction on Class 3 misdemeanor assault. What's the middle ground? Diversion program. You plead no contest, complete anger management classes, community service, pay a fine. After a year, it gets dismissed, and you don't have a conviction on your record. And what do you think they'll actually do? He leaned back in his chair. Honestly, I think they'll offer diversion. You reported yourself, you have a clean record. The victim was an adult who committed a more serious crime against a child first. You're not a threat to public safety. This was personal and proportional. Proportional, you didn't beat her up. You didn't chase her through the house. You cut her hair once, put the scissors down, and called the cops. That shows restraint. That shows you knew what you were doing and you set a limit. But I still committed assault. Yeah, and you're going to pay for it. But the prosecution knows that if this goes to trial, a jury's going to hear what Brooke did first. They're going to hear your 9-year-old daughter crying on the stand. They might still convict you, but they're also going to send Brooke away for longer. It's not a clean win for anyone. 2 weeks later, the DA's office called. They offered diversion. Exactly what my lawyer predicted. Plead no contest to Class 3 misdemeanor assault. Complete 26 weeks of anger management counseling. 100 hours of community service. $1,500 fine. After 1 year of successful completion, the charge would be dismissed. Take it, my lawyer said. This is as good as it gets. I took it. Brooke's case was different. She was charged with assault on a minor and unlawful imprisonment. Dad was charged with preventing use of a telephone in an emergency. They both pleaded not guilty. The trial was set for October, 3 months out. Lily had to testify. That was the hardest part. Watching our 9-year-old daughter sit in front of a courtroom full of strangers and describe being held down while she cried. Brooke's lawyer tried everything. Said it was a misunderstanding. Said Brooke thought she was helping. Said kids are dramatic and hair grows back. My lawyer was sitting with us in the gallery. He leaned over and whispered, "Watch this backfire." The prosecutor played the recording. Brooke's voice, clear as day, admitting Lily said no, admitting Lily cried, then saying she'd do it again. You heard the defendant's own words, the prosecutor said. She admits the victim said no. She admits the victim cried and begged her to stop. And she admits she would do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not a misunderstanding. That's assault, and it's unlawful imprisonment. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty on both counts. Dad's trial was faster. The evidence was clear. He'd tried to physically stop me from calling 911 during an active assault on a child. His lawyer argued he was just trying to keep the family together. The prosecutor said he was trying to cover up a crime. Guilty. Brooke got 18 months probation, 200 hours of community service, mandatory psychological counseling, and a 5-year restraining order from Lily. Dad got a $2,000 fine and 6 months probation. Mom sat in the gallery the whole time, crying silently. After the verdict, she tried to approach us. I walked past her. My diversion program started in November. 26 weeks of anger management in a strip mall off the I-10. 12 of us in folding chairs, learning about triggers and de-escalation. I gave them the minimum, nodded at the right times, did the worksheets. The counselor said I was making progress. I didn't tell him I'd do it again tomorrow. Community service was Saturday mornings at a food bank. Loading boxes, helping old people carry groceries to their cars. One woman asked why I was there. Court ordered, I said. She nodded and didn't ask anything else. That became my favorite part. People who didn't need the whole story. Lily started therapy in December. After the 3rd session, her therapist pulled us aside. She's not afraid of Aunt Brooke anymore. She told me, "My dad made sure she can't hurt me again." Is that healthy? I asked. Healthier than learning adults can hurt her without consequences. You drew a boundary. Now we're teaching her that boundaries don't always require violence. Fair enough. Mom kept sending cards. Birthday, Christmas, Easter. All signed Love Mom, with no mention of Dad or Brooke. In February, she added notes. Short ones. I miss you. Please call. Then paragraphs about forgiveness. About how families work through things. How Brooke was going through something and didn't mean it. I threw them away unopened after that. Grandma moved into her apartment in January. 1 bedroom, 3rd floor, overlooking a park. She seemed lighter, younger, despite complaining about her knees. We visited every Sunday. Brought Lily, had lunch, played cards. Grandma taught Lily how to cheat at gin rummy. Your grandfather called again, she mentioned one Sunday in March. What did he want? For me to talk sense into you. To remind you that Brooke's family. What did you tell him? That family is a verb, not a noun. And Brooke stopped doing the verb a long time ago. We started talking about moving in April. Denver came up. Better schools, better job market, and 2 states between us and Phoenix. In May, I got an offer. Tech company, 30% pay bump, full relocation. Start date in August. I called Grandma first. Good. Put some distance between you and that mess. Can't heal if you keep picking at the scab. Will you be okay? I'm 82 and meaner than a snake. Besides, they have airplanes now. Mom found out in June. Showed up at the house 2 days later. I opened the door. She'd aged 10 years in 10 months. Gray streaks she used to dye. Dark circles. Hands twisting together. Please. 5 minutes. No. Please, I'm begging you. Hazel appeared behind me. You need to leave. I'm his mother. You left our daughter alone with Brooke. Then you defended what she did. You made your choice. Mom's voice cracked. I made a mistake. I know I did. But she's my daughter too. You're asking me to choose? We're not asking anything, I said. We already know who you chose. Please, I can't lose you and Lily. Your father and I are in counseling. We're trying to fix this. Counseling, Hazel repeated. Did they tell you to show up unannounced? I didn't know what else to do. You won't answer. You throw away my letters. Maybe take the hint, I said. She flinched. I'm your mother. I held you when you were born. I stayed up with you when you were sick. That has to count for something. It did. Past tense. Then you chose Brooke over Lily. I didn't choose. You did. Every choice you made that day told us where we stand. Tears running down her face now. Tell me what you want. I'll cut Brooke off. I'll testify against her. Whatever you want, just don't take Lily from me. That got my attention. Not because I believed her, because she'd finally said the quiet part out loud. You'll cut Brooke off? Yes. Tell her she's not welcome until she apologizes to Lily and proves she's changed? Yes, I promise. What about Dad? She hesitated. Just a second, but enough. I can talk to him, make him understand. That's not what I asked. Will you stand up to Dad? Longer hesitation. It's complicated. He's my husband. He's set in his ways. But I can work on him. There it is. Hazel put her hand on my shoulder. I looked at Mom one more time. You want to know what I want? Nothing. I don't want your promises because they're worthless. I don't want your apologies because you're only sorry there are consequences. And I don't want you around my daughter until you choose her over the people who hurt her. Please, we're moving to Denver in August. Don't call, don't write, don't show up. If you want a relationship with us someday, prove you've changed, really changed. Not just sorry you got caught changed. How do I prove that? Figure it out yourself. I closed the door. Through the window, I watched her stand there for a full minute, shoulders shaking. Then she walked to her car, sat in the driver's seat for 5 minutes, and drove away. Hazel wrapped her arms around me. You okay? Yeah. She'll try again. We'll be in Denver by then. I completed my diversion program in May. Charge dismissed. My lawyer told me to stay out of trouble. We moved August 15th. Said goodbye to 3 people. Grandma, my lawyer, and Miguel's widow. Lily started school first week of September. Made friends in 2 days. Joined choir. Got the lead in the fall musical by October. Her hair was growing back. Still uneven, but getting longer. She didn't brush it 100 strokes anymore. Just washed it and let it dry. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark.